Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be talking about the hobby in general and how to basically get started with the army that matches you. I get asked this question quite a lot when it comes to doing my streaming. When I do my hobby stream, people always ask me, what army is best, what should I go with, which chapter should I go with, etc. Yeah, I just want to dedicate a video towards it and hopefully help you people out who are new to the hobby, and also maybe people who just want to make another army and maybe just improve their hobby in a little bit more. So let's jump in and let's get started. So I just want to make it clear that I am not a tournament player. I am not like a power gamer or anything like that. The armies that I make, the choices of weapons, the general vibe of everything about my army is all down to the rule of cool. Like, I have plenty of units in my army that are not tabletop legal. It doesn't mean that I'm going to deploy them as that unit and use them to like my advantage. No, I just always go with that rule of cool factor. Like, for example, my ancient who is wielding a power fist, that is not legal, but it looks amazing because in my Imperial Fist armor, an ancient with a power fist is amazing. So that's why I chose for that option. I'm sure a lot of people are in the same bracket as me. I'm sure a lot of people are, into the competitive scene and stuff like that. Everyone has their own kind of way to play this game, and it's always correct to play it in the way that you feel is best to play it. Of course, if you're not cheating, because all the cheaters can get slapped in the face and slung off a cliff, in my opinion. But that's another subject for another time. So when it comes to general hobbying and picking the right army for you, now this is the $1,000,000 question, and I always say to people, and this is more or less aimed at new people getting into the hobby. When I do my hobby streams, as I mentioned in the introduction of the video, I get asked, hey Valrak, what army should I go with? How do I know what army that fits me the best? And I personally think the best recommendation I can give to someone is buy the rulebook, because if you're getting into the hobby anyway, the full 8th edition rulebook is of course the place where everyone's going to start, because you're going to learn the rules and stuff like that. But if you just put the rules to one side for a second, the actual rulebook itself has some great information on each of the armies, like an introduction into the armies themselves. So if you're reading it and you come across a Nekron packet, the Nekron Passage, the Nekron Passage has a minimal about a lore, just introducing the race, basically giving you the general overview of the army, and just briefing like what's happened in their history, what they are, basically their agenda, their storyline, where they are in the universe at this moment in time, and stuff like that. And if that tickles your fancy, say you read that and you say, oh, okay, Eldar's not good for me. No, I'm not really taken to Space Marines, but Necrons, yeah, Necrons really take my fancy. Then I would recommend reading a little bit more on the Necrons. Now, there's two ways you can do this. You can either go to like the Warhammer wikis, which I would recommend, which have a ton of information on stuff like, characters, lore, weapons, everything that's been going on. Like, this is where you can really go down the rabbit hole and lose yourselves. And the other option is, of course, the actual rulebook for that faction as well. So you can go to GW, you can go to a third-party retailer and stuff. You can buy the book and you can sit down and then you can lose yourself in that history of that army, connect to it a bit more. Maybe you'll come to it like, you really like the Necrons, and then you got to read about them a little bit more and you didn't like them. And that works out really, really well, because you haven't invested a huge ton of money into an army just off a couple of passages and stuff like that. So my biggest recommendation is read as much as you can about the army that you're going to be investing in, because there will come to a point in your hobbying, and this has happened to everyone, and it will happen to everyone. It's happened to me before, where you basically come to a point and it's like, oh, I just can't be bothered. I just can't be bothered to paint this. I've got so much on my build pile to do, and you just get into an area where, I just need a rest. I just need to take a break. And sometimes that break can lead into a week. That week goes into 2 weeks. That goes into a month. That goes into years. And it never gets done. But I would say, if you are building an army that is meaning something to you, for example, my Imperial Fist. I love Imperial Fist. Yes, I can drink Lamenter's. Well, I wouldn't drink Lamenter's Yellow. I'd die. Plus, it's not worth it because they don't make it anymore. But I love Imperial Fist so much. And the reason I'm so dedicated to building this army is because the love I have for the lore, the love I have for the characters, their way of warfare and stuff like that. And that love for the army pushes me over the crest of the hobby hill. So again, I'll mention, I've come to a point where I've had a bunch of Imperial Fists in a pile, and I've gone, oh my holy Emperor, there's so much to do. But my love for the Imperial Fist pushes me over that hill. And that's in the same regards as like chapters themselves, because again, when you pick a faction, some factions have factions within the faction, and I'm going to take for the example the Space Marines, because I think they're the most numerous when it becomes with factions within factions, because all the chapters and stuff like that. So when you pick Space Marines, let's say for example you get the rulebook, you read the Space Marines, you take into them, you're zeal and fury, it's pumping out of you, and now it comes to the decision of what chapter to go with. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of chapters when it comes to the Space Marines. You have the first founding, the second founding, you know, there's so many bloody foundings of Space Marine chapters. Each chapter belongs to a father chapter, so, you know, the original chapters. Some chapters, we don't really know their origins. That could take your fancy. There's literally so much to go on when it comes to the Space Marine factions. And again, it all comes down to you as an individual. Now, again, for me, when it came down to me, the reason I picked my Imperial Fists, because I personally felt they match my personality the best. I am very loyal. I see myself as loyal. I am very, very stubborn. I love to build things. I love to build castles and stuff. I love to stand on walls. I don't know if that's actually a real thing. But yes, all these things mixed in together pointed me towards the Imperial Fist. Like, okay, these guys are awesome at building fortifications. These guys are very, very loyal. They match me with my personality when I'm very abrupt and stoic. Could I say that? I am a very stoic person. And so yeah, this is the reason I went for my Imperial Fist. Maybe you have a Templar personality. Maybe you are all zeal and fury. Maybe you're, a flesh tearer. Someone says something to you the wrong way and you just lose your rag at them and you want to, butcher them and take them apart. There's so many chapters out there that will match your personality. And again, if you do a chapter that matches your personality, I personally think that will, again, drive you to your hobby goals a little bit more. It will push you over the tip of the hill to creating that army, to make that army. And I think you enjoy playing that army a little bit more. When I deploy my Imperial Fists, I absolutely love it. I live for the days that I go and play some of my Imperial Fists. Even though I lose. I don't care if I lose or not, which is mostly never, because the Sons of Dawn never lose, as you'll come to find out if you go against us. But it's just the experience of deploying something that you've put so much love and passion into, and something that connects to you in a way which makes you think, this is awesome, this is kick-ass, I absolutely love it. So this is why I think it's so important to pick something that you love when you come to build an army, paint an army, and just play an army in Warhammer 40,000. Now, I know there are going to be some people out there which are completely opposite to everything I am saying. As I mentioned, there's people out there that just do this for the competitive scene. They just want to build an army which is the biggest, which is the bestest, which is the most fiercest on the table. That is absolutely fine. Everyone has their own way of doing things. Now, the way I've explained is my own way. I feel like the passion, the narrative side of building an army is way more fun. Now, I'm not trying to say, because I do the narrative side, that the people on the tournament side are a bunch of losers. No, they're not. They're awesome in their own right. I respect them for the way they do their armies, because for me personally, I could never build an army like that. So for them to go out and do the opposite for me, and for them to show their passion in doing it the way they do it, I think that's an awesome insight into the other side of people's personality and how to get stuff done as well. You're probably watching this video now thinking, yeah, I am a narrative player. And there's people probably watching this video now saying, no. I'm the tournament player. That is my personality. That's the way I build my armies. But all awesome at the end of the day. As long as you get your enjoyment out of Warhammer 40,000, that is the most important thing in the world. Don't forget that this is a game. This is something that you're supposed to be enjoying. If you're not enjoying this, if you're sad, if you're getting fed up, frustrated, if you're thinking, what the hell am I doing? Then you have to look at yourself and think, what is the point? Where can I change this? Where can I start having fun? How can I start having fun? You really need to just address yourself, and you have to see what is fun for you. what gets you the most out of this hobby, and how does it make it fun? Because I know there's people out there, there's some of my friends who've been frustrated about the game, you know, the certain releases and stuff like that haven't been coming out for them and stuff. I'm just like, well, if you're getting this frustrated, just relax, take a breather, because the last thing you want to do is be getting so mad, so fed up that your love for the hobby goes away, because this hobby is amazing. We all love it. We're all awesome fans, and we all want to love and enjoy the hobby as much as possible. Right, Chaperunio, so that is me done for another video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've got any feedback at all, maybe, you know, advice on hobbying and, you know, how you do your stuff, leave it in the comment section below, because there's a lot of people that ask me about this, and the more people that we can get into the hobby and the more advice you can leave for them, it's better. You know, more people in the hobby means obviously more investment into the company, which obviously means that, you know, hopefully they'll invest more into making more models for us all, which we could all love and enjoy, which means more armies, which means more people buying stuff, which means more people purging on the tabletop, which is always going to be a glorious thing for us all. It benefits us all. The more people in the hobby, the more people enjoying it, means the more fun for us all the way around. Thank you for coming, thank you for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed yourself. I am planning to do another video very soon about getting started with Space Marines. I know I did a previous video about that, but there's been a lot of updates since then with like the Vanguard Marines and all that kind of stuff. People have asked me maybe to do it for other factions, but the only really other factions I really know inside out are more or less the Custodes. Since I'm a massive fan of Custodes, I really wouldn't want to like do one for like Eldar or Tau or Necrons, since those armies are not for me, and I feel like I'll do more mistakes and lead people down bad paths rather than good paths. So when I come to do these armies, I'm gonna be doing it. Sorry, when I come to do these videos, I'm gonna be doing it on factions that I actually collect myself and which I'm passionate about. Because again, the whole thing about this video, the way I function is my passion for the faction that I collect. Without that, I'm basically nothing. Right, thank you for coming, thank you for watching, I hope you've enjoyed yourself. See you now, and bye-bye.